Hey Lynn fam, thought I ought to get back into the swing of things with a quick FPL first draft video as Christmas is fast approaching and that means so is the FPL deadline. It'll be here before we absolutely know it. It'll sneak up on us. As much as I'm enjoying this break, I hope you have too. We need to get back into things. So you guys know the drill. If you're loving the content, then please do drop a like on this video. Let's try hit 70 likes. That would be absolutely amazing. Do drop me a comment below. How has the break been for you? Are you FPL ready yet? I know I'm not. Hopefully this video will help all of us. Lastly, if you're new to the channel, then please do subscribe. You're really helping me out. Okay, let's delve into my first unlimited transfer draft. So, we have some double game weeks confirmed. The first one up is Fulham and Chelsea. Then we have Man City and Tottenham. Of course, there may be games added in around these, and there may also be some blanks and doubles in game week 21. Also, these are quite dependent on any FA Cup replays, but this is what we have at the moment, so we have to try and build our teams around this information. So, for my keepers, I have gone with Kepa. Chelsea have a double in game week 19, so I'm hoping that Kepa might be back from injury. I did ask out on Twitter. There seems to be a bit of a general consensus that he should make it back and that he might be first choice, but there's no definites on this, so this might be dependent on last minute injury news, this one. So if you are thinking about Kepa, just bear that in mind because he hasn't played in any of the friendlies yet and hasn't even been on the bench. I've paired him with Ward. As we all know, he turned into a god when I sold him on my first wildcard, so I'm running back to him with my arms wide open, asking for Ward back in my life. In defence, Cancelo stays for the moment. His price point makes him difficult to sell, and with a double-double on the horizon, he is really tough to get rid of. Although I have considered losing him in a couple of drafts, maybe going with Edson instead, or maybe a Kanji. This is potentially an option, but for the moment in this first draft, he's staying, and if I can work around keeping him, then great. Trippier has done nothing at all to be sold at this point in my eyes. He's been in my team since day one, and he's been one of my best players, so he is going nowhere for the moment. White is a newcomer, and I'm targeting more Arsenal in this game week 17 unlimited transfers because of that Arsenal double, and they may also get another one in game week 21 too. So trying to have at least 2, maybe 3 by that point. So it's a work in progress, that one, if I stick with this particular team. Now, Shaw is in over Dalot. I'd prefer Dalot, but I'm hearing that he may have picked up a hamstring injury in the World Cup. I'll need to see what the injury news is before completely deciding on these two. If Dalot is okay, I'll go for him. Otherwise, then it'll probably be Shaw. I'll have to just wait and see on injury news on this one, because we are going to want United players in our team, apart from having 3 of the least best performing teams in game week 17, 18 and 19 in Forest, Wolves and Bournemouth. After 2 tough fixtures in game week 20 and 21, they have a great run of fixtures until the end of the season, with 2 fixtures in Leeds and Crystal Palace to be rearranged in possible double game weeks. So yes, you are going to want to consider Man United in this unlimited transfers draft. Bueno is a flat out cheap enabler who has at least had some game time, 3.9, you can't argue with that. In midfield, I've kept Martinelli. I have considered switching him to Odegaard, but I'm struggling to drop Nelly at the moment because he's been so good to me, but this could change because Odegaard has been very good, and he's also having a great time in Dubai at the moment as well with their warm weather training and friendlies, so he could potentially be an option, whereas obviously Nelly may be a little bit tired after coming back from the World Cup, although he didn't play that much. One to think about on these two. Almiron scored a brace in a friendly the other day, and I don't want to discount Newcastle's form just based because other teams have doubles really. At 5.7 million, I'll try and keep him in these unlimited transfers and move him on at a later date should I need to. Alright, so this one I'm a little unsure about. I've punted for Foden over KDB on this first draft. I'm unsure how I feel about it, if I'm completely honest with you guys. I'd much prefer KDB for security. Foden did great though for me before everyone jumped on him in those last few game weeks before the break. I'd like to think he performed well enough at the World Cup to get game time again under Pep. With so many doubles, he's likely the easiest of KDB and himself to be rotated. So this is a proper tough gig, this one, because I've no idea what Pep will do. But the extra money that Foden gets you over KDB is a lot, and it really does allow you to spread your cash around this team. Salah, though, does keep his place in my team. I know many are considering going without. I did a poll on Twitter and it was split dead down the middle, 50-50, with over 400 votes. So that tells you how many people are considering selling and how many people are considering keeping. But after my merry-go-around of getting on and off of him between 14 and 16 and missing out on his haul in game week 15, I am struggling to go without, if I'm honest with you. I know how tough he is to shoehorn back into your team. And for a couple of game weeks there where I got off of him, I spent my transfers trying to get back onto him after his haul. And if the same happens again, then if you don't have Salah, then he's one of those players that you're either just going to have to suck it up and continue on without him, or use your transfers at trying to get him back where you could be using those transfers elsewhere. So that is my only kind of real gut feeling with keeping Salah. Liverpool also have absolutely great fixtures until the end of the season, and still yet 2 fixtures to be rearranged, so there will be doubles to come, you'd think, as well for them. Rashford is a bit of a punt, again, for all the reasons I'm considering with Shaw or Dalla, whichever one I get. He was absolutely great in the World Cup, and hopefully he's a big part of Ten Hag's plans going forward. So yes, I think he might be highly owned going into game week 17, so he's one I'm considering. Up front, Haaland is a given and will be in a lot of teams, possibly even triple captain material in the next few weeks with a couple of doubles coming up. You never know. Next to him, I've gone with Mitro. Now, I don't love this. He is close to a suspension and he isn't exactly in the best form going into the World Cup. Didn't really do very much at the World Cup, and it would be just his luck that he gets one of these suspensions in one of the double game weeks. But I am a sucker for a double, and at such a low price, if he gets to play them, then I would rather have him in my team. I can switch him to Nketiah if I really need to, and probably will at some point, I would have thought, if I stick with this draft. Lastly, I've taken a bit of a risk on Darwin. It's a lot of money if this doesn't go well. I missed his haul in game week 16, so maybe that's fresh in my mind. But mostly, I guess I'm just hoping Liverpool's fixtures will produce some form going forward. Obviously, Jota is still out, and obviously with the other injuries in that team, I'm hoping that him and Salah are pretty nailed for the next few game weeks, and that hopefully will build a bit more of a partnership, and they will be able to push forward. So let's talk about the pluses and the minuses of this draft. The negatives are that it's quite light on the first and second double game weeks. If Kepa is still out, I'll only have 1 doubler for game week 19 currently, and only 3 for game week 20, when many will have at least 1 extra Spurs player with their City players. I don't love not having Andreas, given his price and the double for Fulham. I think a lot of people will have him and probably end up playing him. But it's kind of have an extra premium in, say, a Rashford, or maybe even more expensive than that. I may show another draft with that in, or Andreas, really. So let me know what you guys think on that, because I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I will also have an absolute benching headache with this team most weeks because it is pretty much stacked. And that, I guess, is kind of a positive. I will have a really strong bench, so I will have backup if teams heavily rotate in the next few weeks with people coming back off the World Cup and so forth. I also like that I have a good spread of players with good fixtures and good form across this team. So plenty to think about. I'll have another little play around with this in the next few days and see what I change based on any news and leaks, and if I can absolutely bear myself to go without KDB, and I'll obviously give you guys an updated draft ASAP if much changes, which I'm sure it will because I now have the bug again and I'm sure I'll be doing lots of tinkering. And that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do subscribe to the channel. We're all mates here. You'll really be helping me out. Let me know your unlimited transfer thoughts in the comments below. What would you change about my first draft, and who are you considering? And lastly, please feel free to check out the sponsors of this video, fantasyfootballfix.com. Until next time, Nymphrya out.